Good.
So good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the bar of today of December 16th, 2024, it being 5:30. Present here are Rob McQuilkin, myself, Stephanie Rinser, and Tom Birmingham. Christopher Gao is absent today, and Julie Reed is joining us via Zoom. Thank you, Desiree, for taking the minutes today. And I just wanted to make sure that you can confirm that all the neighbors have been. Oh, Christopher is back. That's good. I'm sorry. No, it's perfect.
The meeting just became more festive.
Yes.
Quite a cake.
Did you find your strange little offering?
Did you not anyways?
So thank you for joining.
Oh, thank
Christopher
you
Gao,
for
we would
waiting.
have just said, well, I just said you weren't here, but that's fine. I'm sorry. So Christopher Gao has joined us for the record. And can you just confirm, John, that all the neighbors on all the applications have received their notices?
Yes, the neighbor notifications went out early last week. I did receive 2 comments, one from Dan Rifkin, who thought positively on the Tuxedo Club application, and another one from Tamara El Reyes regarding the 80
Mhm.
Grove
Yeah.
Nest Road application. Otherwise, there was no negative comments from
Okay.
anyone else.
That's good. So could we start with Mr. Keller, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Can I have some guidance on how we start?
Come on up because we have the microphones here, so.
It's been a while. I was here once before.
I'll just sit here.
No, you sit here.
You guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah.
This is great. Good, how are you?
That's for the next one. That's the windows. Oh, no, no, that's.
And there's this one.
Okay.
Worse.
Okay, so we.
Okay, so, Calabrese would like to, demolish an existing, study, which is, the, this one, Kevin Brady, the architect. Which is in the, here, southeast corner of the house right now, and on the site plan, you can see the outline of that nice finished
Yeah.
structure to be demolished, and then on the demolition plan, you can see that the internal layout that we're gonna demolish there. Right now, it roughly lines up with the edge of the sunroom. We're gonna, reuse the plumbing from the existing bathroom, from the new bathroom. Yeah, the site has numerous constraints on it, and this is really the only location that you could even do this. And they do want to leave in place, so that's, what it goes to them. Yeah. It consists of a in place.
AJ, I love that.
He came up with that, not me. That's how it's called.
I think it's a term of art, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I love it. It's like, an age. It just gets like a fine
Knees are
wine.
getting sore.
You're gonna mellow, you're gonna
We were gonna
mellow.
submit x-rays of our knees
Change that.
and our hips.
Want to see some metal in there.
Not yet.
So, so the bedroom is 13 foot 8 by 16 foot, which we felt was a comfortable size, not too huge, not too small, but, about as small as we can make it. And still be comfortable. There's an 8 foot by 6 foot walk-in closet, 11 foot by 6 foot bathroom, coat closet next to the entry door, and a small study with a stackable laundry tucked away behind, a built-in, in the bedroom. And, floor plan. Elevation. A3 shows the existing that we propose to demolish. The portico is going to stay, and a portion of the roof. See on the proposed elevation, that a portion of the roof is going to stay, and then we're going to continue that roof over on top of the new roof. I tried to pick up a lot of the design elements of the main front gable, with the half timbering and stucco, match the roof pitch, match the returns with the crown molding, match the concealed gutters, match the copper leaders, match the windows with the transoms at the living room and the entry.
It's still existing.
Can you just explain this?
Oh, the view,
Yeah, this is from the road.
This is,
I just drew that in just to show that it's new.
Oh, I
It's all
see.
new stucco, but it would match the
Oh, I
existing, which
see.
is
Oh.
presently cement stucco that has paint on it.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do the same thing here, use cement stucco and then paint it to match. So
I like that color, have all white with brown trim.
Okay.
And then on the south elevation, there is an existing sunroom here. And then presently the gable roof faces that direction, but because of the alignment of the addition, I wanted to rotate the gable roof to look more appropriate in the front of the house versus on the side of the house. So that's why this face moves in this direction here. And then the electrical meter is going to get relocated to over here. This wall here, which is the closet wall projects out a bit, 5 feet further than the existing sunroom wall. And then the master bedroom wall, which in here projects out a total of 13 feet off of the front of the existing sunroom. And, roof shingles would match existing. And, that's, the last elevation, which is A5. You would only see this from their backyard. Shows the portico existing portico. And then the new addition behind it. Projecting out.
Can you explain the cricket roof, that little,
Yeah, that's, let me, okay, so right now, if you look between those. If you look between those two roofs there, there's a big cricket that comes from. The main house in the background, the two-story portion, and then it comes in between these two gable roofs here. So that is existing, so we're not really changing that, but we will have to rebuild it because we're gonna, I'm proposing a hip roof. Kind of recedes into the background from the south elevation, and then that cricket roof is built on top.
just wondering if it wasn't an opportunity to kind of clean that up?
Right, which way does this slope? I'm really
So this,
confused.
yeah, this slopes away from
Does
here,
it?
so this wall here projects 5 feet off of the sunroom wall, and then that roof is a hip roof, so it slopes in two directions.
Right.
It slopes away from.
Right. Yeah, I think
the-
we're all we're thinking this is complicated, right? This resolution of these different angles.
It's a tough
I mean, even if you were just going to mask it in the exterior, not change the interior, but simply continue that line.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a question.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying maybe do a parapet wall with a scupper in it, something.
Well,
like
you've-
that, just
you've-
clean it up.
You've kept this nicely right below the lateral here. And it's at the same, just wondering why. Think that it's a dump, it's not-
You mean this roof line here, shouldn't that create a plus here? Suppose we could do that. The only thing is it won't be the same pitch as this.
Oh, really?
Right, if we did this as a.
This is further forward.
I see.
Yeah.
So there really is no.
We'll look at the rest of the pictures. See if I have a picture facing that way anymore. These were all the fronts.
And I don't even know how public this view.
What are they
is
talking
or
about?
not.
I guess they want that roof to continue across, right? So that's an asphalt shingle roof that lines up with this here in the sunroom.
They want that when the folks from England came over and built that, that's what they did there.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. And then they did the cricket in between. So they're asking, can we clean it up? We can clean it up. I mean, I could do this roof here, right? That's the roof over the sunroom, and then continue that across there. And it would just be
Well,
a
that's.
shallower slope though, going back into the
How
house, but I
much-
could
how
do
much
that.
shallower?
I think I would come
will
up
we get rid
underneath-
of this?
No.
Okay.
I think I would come up underneath that piece of trim
Hmm.
on the far point of the house and then slope it up to that point. I guess I was trying to just maintain the.
Do you think it
status
would
quo,
look
which is
more
here.
complicated trying to do that? Do you think it would create more problems?
Not at
or-
all, no.
Could be
no.
just
I
the
mean, in
drawing.
fact, look, the higher the cricket roof, the better it sheds water, right? It's steeper pitch, so I don't have a problem doing that.
But if this is the most public side of the house and you're doing all this good work, it just seems like a great opportunity to simplify that
Yeah.
resolution.
It's not a problem. We do that.
Yeah, it's difficult to conceptualize. I'm sort of on the
Right.
fence because it. Look too bright. So,
Different
yeah,
angle.
I'm not sure, but it is something
This is
to
difficult to-
address sort of more in detail to sort of visualize so that you see what you're getting into. Because it could be the sore point of the.
Yeah, I don't deny that, I like the gable roof here, right, and the relationship to the
Oh,
main
totally.
house.
Right,
Sure.
yeah.
And that's why I did it on the other side, I guess, instead, right, because now this is a much smaller addition that has the gable facing the front.
Mhm.
So now we just have a larger structure
I
to
guess
contend with. I
To
did
my
feel-
eye, there's so much engagement, there's so much that's engaging with, I don't want to say competing, kind of nicely working together, different roof angles. But there's already been one extension, and now this is another extension, sort of a sort of modification of a building. And to me, this sort of is a giveaway of
Mhm.
not like over years aging, but of a complication.
Right.
Like,
Are you saying that it's complicated now, or it's the addition that we're gonna put in complicates
I
that?
guess the, but that the addition may offer an opportunity to kind of bind together the whole in a more graceful.
Another thing that perhaps the subject and that. I think there is a 6-foot setback here, like a tiny tunnel between this and this protrusion. Is that possible?
That is correct, yes.
I think. No, this,
It's actually 8 foot 8.
this tunnel that goes in,
Oh, right,
you see,
right.
just look at that for a minute.
Yeah.
Right here, yeah.
Right next, see, it's difficult to appreciate from this viewpoint.
Yeah.
You only see it when you look from
You
above,
wonder
but
why, you wonder why the porch isn't extended right up to it.
some, I think
So I didn't,
going in and coming out and having these 2 different levels is.
I definitely disengaged it purposefully away from the portico because it's an open portico, just, sitting on 2
Right.
columns. So although it does project outward, this is an open structure, so
Right.
I don't see it necessarily competing with it the
Right.
same way as a solid wall would. And that's a tough thing that existing portico would be very difficult to, work.
Right.
Oh, and is
Right.
that part of
Connection
the
to-
original house
Yeah,
or
this is
Yeah, that's the
existing.
existing portico, yeah.
of the building as it was
Front.
built in?
It almost never.
Yeah, it's right, it's right here.
Tunnel, right next to the portico, that's where it's gonna come.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But I see it more like on this side here where we're gonna have the solid wall. It is, it's just on 2 columns, so you would see through the portico, right? It's not gonna feel like a heavy,
Right,
it's not gonna feel like 2 structures.
Right, right,
little
right.
Alleyway through. It's gonna be all
Mhm.
open in there, and I think, do some nice landscaping.
I think that would be the, yeah.
Is that where there's gonna be the window to the study looking out?
Yes. No,
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 there's no
that's
window
extra,
there.
there's nothing.
Just a dead space in here.
All right.
You just do some nice landscaping, right? Some shrubbery in there.
How wide is that?
Soften it.
6 feet wide?
It's 4 feet
4
wide.
feet wide.
4 feet wide, 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 deep. It more or less lines up with the edge of the platform. That's there, the portico.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, some clever landscaping with a sort of fastigate tree or something vertical
Mhm.
on
But you
on
can't
either
get too
side.
close because it's not that much
Right,
space.
it's only 4
And you
feet.
can't really get any roots in or anything.
Or
like
maybe
that.
in a pot or something.
4 feet, I think we can get some, like lower shrubs and I don't know how tall right? Cause like you say, the roots you can't really put anything tall there. But I don't think we necessarily need anything tall. I think if we can get something. These are low boxwoods, so something taller than that certainly. I think-
Written rhododendron or a mountain laurel or something,
Exactly, and there's some already on the property, I think, on the corner.
something shade loving. I don't know where the light, what direction is this?
That would be on the north side of the structure, so there's
yeah.
not gonna be a lot of
So
light
it's
in
gonna-
there at all. It's gonna be something with a lot of shade. Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't, unfortunately, this is like the only place we can, extend out.
Right.
So that's the problem.
Are you worried about any shading into the sunroom? Because you're gonna come forward quite a bit.
In the morning, they're gonna have
Cut
some
out some-
sunlight block, but
Right.
by afternoon, it'll be in line with the sunroom. so.
Mhm.
Talking about that sunroom, there's something I noticed which is not on these plans. And I'm hoping the answer is that it's a skylight that's not clear on these. Are you going to remove that skylight or There's an existing skylight.
Oh, that
It
was-
sort of
yeah.
sticks out on the.
That was another reason for the cricket to leave the existing cricket, because that existing cricket kind of sneaks by that skylight, so that would have to, come out if we did that big cricket. That's a good point.
Yeah, what we did is, I don't, it was a long time ago, it was the only other time we were ever here. When we put that on, the sunroom was truly an all glass room, including the roof,
Mhm.
for many, many years. And then, when we moved to Florida and only spend the summers up here, it was just, didn't make sense. It was too hot. So we had that covered. And what we wanted to do was to not completely lose what we had for so long. So we put three, I think it's 2 or 3 skylights in, and that's one of them. Just, and it seems to work nicely. Now the room could be air conditioned and it's bearable in the summer. But that's why we have 3 skylights there. That used to be a room with all glass
Look at that.
ceiling.
Just, it's one of them that just,
That's the,
which one there? Yes, see this one here, it just sticks out. So, I mean, I was.
Yeah,
just
there's 2
wondering-
in the back, I think.
See, the back ones we don't see. This is the most visible. I was just wondering, it's going to look so lovely, but then that's, it's going to stick out. So I was just wondering if that was a possibility of, it's not a
She's the one who bought the
requirement.
skylights, ask her if it's all right.
Just visually, you're doing such a beautiful job, and what's his name, Norman Shaw would be so from Cragside would be so happy, and he'd probably say, "Get that skylight out." But as I say, it's not
But
a.
you're gonna put a skylight in the bathroom, right?
uh, yeah, that would be totally hidden though. And now that we have a larger cricket on the roof, I don't think we could do that either. Yeah. Because right now we have that the ridge of this roof is right over the top here. And that skylight was going to sit sideways on top of the ridge with cathedral ceiling under the bathroom, just to bring some light down into that bathroom. But that would not be visible from anywhere except for the second floor of the house. But I want to come up with, second here. We'd come up with a pivot here. That would come off this corner. So. No, the ridge. And then or here's the ridge. The moon. Big cricket there. Eliminate that one skylight here. That could probably still stay if you don't object to it. I mean, you really can't see it from.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's not on the agenda. It's not something that, it's pioneer. Yes. You make this project. The one that's visible, the ones that aren't. Yeah.
That one now, yeah.
Yeah, that's. There we go. Grandfather.
Wait, I haven't even drawn yet. See, this is. Yeah. There. Care of that. And then the flat roofs up here, right? The very low slope roofs. Or is there?
So I'm the first time that I can follow this.
Yeah.
We're thinking about that.
Slow, and then this is flat. Slope. Slope there, slope here, slope here, and that big break there. Slope there. Well, there's a lot going on here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yikes.
Was it possible to draw it out and show us more formally or no?
Yeah, I can, you would mean do the roof plan or?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah.
What would be involved in trying to solve some of these problems and keep the skylights on the non-public face
Mm-hmm.
and resolve the
Okay, so this skylight would be out. And then that skylight, if we could just put it have to be out.
I assume there's much more fenestration in doing the project to begin with, no? I mean, it's bringing in a lot more light or no,
But then what's gonna
I don't
happen to the
think so
conservatory?
necessarily.
not
If we
really.
take
no.
that light out
The skylight?
in the conservatory.
I think we're just, well, so if you're gonna take this one out, you might as well take that one out too, right? Because it's
Isn't
gonna
it
look
down on the other
unbalanced.
slope
It's on
though?
the back
That's
slope and
north
it faces
facing,
Yeah,
north, so
so,
it's gonna look silly from underneath if you have one skylight facing north. And not,
but
you
that's
know.
gonna make it a lot more like the room, isn't it?
Mm, a little bit, and you have a lot of glass there, so I don't think it's necessarily going to.
Plastic bag over it tonight, climb over and put a black thin liner over it and see what it looks like tomorrow.
Just for my own edification, what do they say that, I don't understand crickets. They want this roof to come over like this too?
Yeah,
Is that
well,
what
you
it
see
is?
this roof is only this deep, right? Here to here, that's the roof over,
Yeah,
over your sunroom, and then this roof goes with that. It's a real shallow, it's almost 2.5 times the depth of this roof. So the pitch is gonna be
Was
corresponding.
not really clear on this elevation.
No,
so you're saying you're talking about this pitch? Versus this pitch?
Nope, talking about that cricket in there right now is pretty much invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to make.
You wanna build that up?
Yes.
well, not necessarily. I mean, it's.
Or I think what they
we
really
have
want.
trouble reading this without seeing.
Right.
Without-
Maybe that's creating more
I
problem.
know. Maybe you came up with a simply reason. But I think maybe just to see the roof plan the way you have it right now. You know, to see it from a different
Best thing.
angle.
I can render it in 3D.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, then you, everyone would be able to see like,
What
yes,
do you think is best?
I just don't know if we do a 3D space or just normal 3D.
Don't send any more drawings up. We don't want. any
Yeah,
trouble.
right.
well, ideally from the, what it looks like from the road. Trouble.
From the road, from this
From the road,
elevation
yeah,
here,
that's
so
where-
maybe do
Public and if you see it. And you
maybe
see,
a 3/4 from this direction here, so we could see the roof lines in relationship to the sunroom.
that'd be fantastic. Yeah. Then it'd be crystal clear that this is the no-brainer. This is the best way. This looks the best and this doesn't look so good.
Okay.
And then everyone's happy.
So basically this here, where this little pediment window is, it recedes back. So this comes way forward, is that right?
Here, take a look at that. Show it better. Yeah, that gable runs all the way back to the main house.
I'm not sure I'm even, it looks like it's all the same plane.
But this is gonna be forward.
Ah, you're,
Oh, it's
okay.
gonna be coming
This
way
is,
out, yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, about 13 feet. Right? About 13 feet out or more.
13 feet total, it's a 5 feet here, and then we stepped it back, and then another 8 feet here. Just so it didn't, again, because we were trying to think about light into this observatory and views out from here, trying to maintain a view plane to the southeast.
Is there a throughway from here to the sunroom?
So this comes way out.
Yeah.
So is it all about this closet? That we have to have like 2 extra roof sections to accommodate this closet? Oh, that's a closet bathroom.
Right, right. That's the, I see, right.
Because you're saying you would rather see it, so this roof plane is continuous straight across here.
I'm kind of thinking what would happen if you you would lose a lot of complex roofing up there, but I don't know.
No, it's not really so much
No.
that. I think you're looking to clean up a lot of these jogs, I guess, in the facade. Is that what you're looking to do, or?
if it, just an idea, if it helps with those roofs, do you know what I'm saying, Bob?
In other words, to bring the extension out this way?
No,
Push
no,
the
just
closet
to
a little
maybe
bit.
just make that closet a little smaller, just have a look.
Mhm.
So what we're looking at here, right, and the different roof lines there, and this is the roof that's bothering you most. That's forward and that's further forward.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what if the closet was just a bit smaller, then we could save that, you know, there's an extra roof above that.
I think we need the area in here, so if we did lose
Yeah, we're
that
doing it-
there,
we're doing it
we'd
to
almost
get
have to do it
almost like a
here, and then we're
primary-
Don't guess suite.
Let's put in time. The purpose of us having it up and upstairs, the big bedroom, yeah.
I think at that point, we'd have to fill, would be a non-starter. I think at that point, we'd have to fill in this
Well,
area. and
I'm
redesign the
wondering if
plan.
that isn't killing two birds with one stone.
Filling in this area and trying to
Not
get
that
it
that's a
to
bad thing to do, but
have a
that
wall up against that.
that you might be solving what right now is a little bit uncomfortable.
If we had a wall right up against that portico. Then we'd have to have a roof.
But I thought you were
sticking
coming out further anyway. You're just gonna not disturb the Belgian blocks, but you're gonna come out this way. You're coming out this way, aren't you?
up. Yeah, over here though, but not.
But there'll be a 4 foot.
See in plan, there's a 4-foot gap
Yeah.
between the column and the
Oh, I see.
addition. and
So in other words,
portico
hug up
on the
against it.
Column and the addition.
I mean, you could make the argument that by losing one uncomfortable protrusion, you're
Mhm.
allowing yourself, or you're forcing yourself to address this slightly uncomfortable alley
Mhm.
effect. But
Might work. I think, you know, the roof line here would definitely get pretty, somewhat shallow. Cause I don't want to start to compete with these upper roofs here. That's,
But I just want to say, I don't think this is a deal breaker at all. These are sort of
No,
just suggestions.
no.
Yeah, yeah, I
to make
understand.
it lovely.
I understand.
We're thrilled with it overall.
Well,
We're
so
just,
much
we're
of the
so
program
excited.
makes
We just want to
perfect sense.
add to it. So it's, so if this was amenable to you to play around with this, to get an idea so that, you know, you're comfortable. and we're
I'm willing to,
comfortable.
yeah, we're willing to do whatever, you know,
Okay.
makes sense to take a look at different ways and so on. I mean,
Yeah, to get it right.
it's not like we
to-
had 4 people come in and draw it up and say, oh, this is the one. He's the guy, you know, and this is what we're presenting.
So, it sounds like maybe we want to come in, do an alternate plan and elevations and not do the 3D rendering yet. Cause you know, that's gonna be a commitment, financial commitment to get my renderer in.
I mean, just speaking for myself, that would make sense to me, just to see if that doesn't slow things down too much, just to,
Yeah, agreed.
you know.
Yeah, we don't want to make it a huge
No, we don't
burden.
want to make it more expensive or anything like that. So, I mean, would it help if we just all met at the site? And
Yeah, although I think it
With-
needs
with
to
you-
pass your muster first and then your
Yes.
I wanna
clients.
see what it looks like.
And
first.
that's why I
Yeah.
think it's actually worth taking it through its paces if you.
All right, so why don't I'm gonna try an option filling this in and taking this out. And then, you know, probably have to reconfigure this plan
What are you
somehow. Now,
taking
I
out?
don't.
The
we're gonna
closet?
Add on to here and then
Relocate it,
take out part of this
Relocate the
closet
closet.
here. And I don't know how that's gonna work, to
Okay.
be honest with you, from a functional standpoint.
And maybe it
Um,
won't, but best case scenario, it would be a really elegant, you know, kind of
Mm.
modification of this that enhances and brings you back, even though you've got twice the house, it brings it back to the elegance of the original
Mhm.
building, you know.
But if it doesn't work.
But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Then
Right,
then
right.
this would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the floor plan, you know, kind of took a little bit. I don't like weight it towards the floor plan necessarily, but trying to balance the floor. plan
Oh,
and elevation,
absolutely.
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Function and form, and, you know.
Flow.
Yeah, I mean, it has to work, it has to function.
And if
yeah.
it doesn't, I just think it would be an interesting thought experiment or, you know, drawing experiment.
I have a couple of other comments. One, that I just absolutely love your chimney. The way that it was just a brick chimney that there was stones were put on top of it. I think
It's a long time
a long time ago. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a great job. The other comment is the lighting. Often the lighting, these like landing strip lighting, often it's on at night, and I don't know whether you use that a lot or whether it's to light up the garden. But it
And
kind
if
of-
it's on a timer
We-
or,
It's
On
on
a timer.
timer, yeah.
is it possible to untime it? So that if you're not there, it's not going on, or? It's so interesting that you brought that up. I was gonna bring that up too.
Oh.
It's, because it's a very public, in fact, it is the gateway overlay. You know, it's a very public part of the park. And,
Because if these weren't there and you wanted to put these in, we wouldn't approve them. So
they're shining
there,
right out at
they're
the
quite bright,
traffic.
so it sort of detracts from it. It's, you look at it and you see that, you don't see your beautiful house, so it's something to think about. That would be, that'd be
Even
great.
if it's a matter of resetting the timer, so it's a smaller window, or you use them when you have an event, but not when you don't. I mean,
Or motion sensors that if you are using them, they light up so you don't trip over.
Where are the, I didn't even notice the lights because I was only there in the daytime. Where are
They
they?
come on at night.
They're all over the place.
They
Yeah.
light up the
Okay.
because it's so dark there, though, even
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you drive in,
Okay.
you can't see.
We used to just have them around the front, you know, that half circle or whatever you call our front driveway. But we added them to the back because we have a dog now and we let him outside and we want to make sure we keep an eye
see where
on
he
him.
is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe motion detection.
Well, we're not here a lot. I mean, you're not asking me to do, you know, us to do something that's troubling and all, so we'll figure it out.
No, it's again, it's not, we're not demanding it. It's just a nice suggestion. Because we're trying
Well,
to,
you know, some of them would go out anyway, because where we're coming,
But that's
out.
interesting. Yeah.
we'd be taking those ones out around,
Right.
at least around where the house is on that side.
Right.
great.
All right. So we will,
It's always such a pleasure talking with you, your architect retired.
On the 29th, we leave and we're usually gone, when we come back for issues, but we're usually gone until early June. So when we have to meet again, could we do it by Skype or do we have to come in or what has to happen here?
We can do it by Zoom. We'd like the architect here just to present the plan.
He'll be
We
here.
can circulate, whatever draft you're proposing and.
And we can maybe, if it depending on the date and so on, one of us could maybe make it here.
I don't-
We're
I don't-
usually,
I don't think that's,
That's fine, on Zoom is
great.
fine.
We've done that all the time.
okay,
as long
thanks.
as one of you's on Zoom and.
okay.
How far you're, where?
Yeah, no, I'm in Monroe. so
Right.
it's 20 minutes away.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's great that you came for the first one and we're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
It's the fine tuning.
Yeah. So don't go to the expense of a 3D.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of wasteful at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, the pictures in there. I don't know if they're-
That's all right.
Well, thanks. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And to
Nice
you,
one.
thank
Safe
you,
travels.
thank you.
Did you go to get married?
Yep, we're getting married in August.
Oh, in August.
At
Glenmere.
Glenmere.
I heard,
Oh,
yes,
perfect.
taking it over.
What fun.
Should be really nice.
Should be
You're required
tasty.
to take it over.
I know.
Part of the deal.
Split it up.
And not for free.
You know, Alan sold us the house here.
Sorry?
He was
Oh, he did?
working for, yeah, he
Oh.
was working for Kathy,
It's funny, the original
25 or 28 years ago, whenever it was.
The original owner of the house,
Thank
I
you
don't know
so
whether it
much.
was
Thank you.
Mrs. Breeze,
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
what?
Happy
Rhodolph.
New Year and.
Rowina's
Season.
grandfather. But it'd be fascinating if it was Mrs. Breeze, because Eloise Breeze's niece was also called Eloise. And she married,
Well, we kept it in the family, then our last name is Calabrese.
There you
But then Diana bought it.
She bought it to flip it though,
Yeah.
but Diana McGraw.
okay.
Yeah, she never lived in it, she
I
just
think
bought
she
it,
moved to the
put
Carolinas.
some paint
and-
on it.
Yeah.
We were looking for a place at Tuxedo Park and it was the right price. Many moons ago.
I know. Left time. Don't forget your phone.
Oh, there's another one of your photos.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
thank
thank you.
you.
Good to
Thanks
see
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So our second applicant for today, can you introduce yourself?
Ted Deason, I'm the boatmaster at the club.
Did you catch that, Desiree? Oh,
She's muted. No voice.
I didn't get the last name. I just heard the first.
Deason, Thiessen.
Thank you.
Sure. My third season here.
so would you like to talk through your ideas?
Yeah, so on the south side of the boathouse, there's the old retaining wall, a seawall that is crumbling. And there's pictures in the file there of a couple of incidents. There's been a few more erosion, water coming down across the street. Hit us bad one time. The worst was this summer where heavy wind came like within seconds and then blew the dock right off its footings. So that created a real more of an urgent situation rather than, it's falling apart. Can we do something different? The access point, where the docks are mounted, broke and the footings came from out from underneath that. So we temporarily put 2 Moffett blocks in to reconnect and at least keep business rolling for the season. And then it was like, all right, this really needs to be addressed formally. So then at the same time, you just fix a crumbling piece, everything else is crumbling and moving. The idea is to just reset a full footing. Speaking with John, like actually go 42 inches down. There's less than that now. So get a full footing in there for a wall continuous through the whole business versus it's broken up in segments, which I think was part of why it broke free individually. Put a full wall in, and then veneer it, where now the main construction is rock, concrete, pieced up. And this would be a full poured wall with the veneer.
Veneer of the existing natural stone.
We would save as much as possible when they tear that piece down, that a lot of that rock would be reused to create that veneer. So, appearance wise, there might be some new that goes into that, but their local source, Curdy Landscape, is around a lot. They have a lot of sources. They'd be able to get something that matches up pretty well too.
And having a veneer on that's not a problem with ice and.
So part of why it's breaking now is because the ice. we're unfortunately where all the wind and ice ends up. In my 3 years, I haven't seen it, but I've heard big chunks all end up by the boathouse. So that's what's been a lot of what's breaking it up. So if we were to have a terrible event, we could lose a little bit of veneer, but we'll never lose the wall because you'd be pouring the whole wall would be continuous.
And the veneer could be.
So it'd be cosmetic rather than.
Could be replaced or repaired at the time of the damage was caused.
Right.
So how long is that wall section that you're replacing altogether?
Overall, I didn't put the total in there, but got 18 foot, 3 foot filler, a space, 3 foot filler, 8 foot, 6 foot, 15. That's all where it's broken up on the proposal, but I didn't put
Sorry, one
the
second,
full
just
amount,
trying
but
to
it's about-
find.
So where's the part?
where-
Oh, here it is too. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, sorry.
The end here?
No, it's throughout. Like 2 pillars are being undermined near the boathouse.
Okay.
This is where the ramp is.
Yeah.
So both of these pillars, it's really busted here. Let me go. The first picture, this is Saturday. So this one and this one were dislodged completely from the footing.
Right, okay.
The intent would be to change that a little bit since we're doing the wall and make 4 access
Okay.
mounting points rather than the 3.
Mm-hmm.
The intent would be to create a little less torque on each,
Yes,
and
right,
put 4 parallels in versus this,
yes,
which is,
yeah.
it's creating a
So
little bit.
so
of-
this is about 80 feet all round. But
I'd have to add.
We kind of
we can add it up
rounded
here.
and natural
Yes.
looking,
It would,
right?
it would sit the same
Right,
as it is now.
53. Come up with 60 from there, that's the launch,
And then you have that.
and the 18, so yeah, 78, so, right.
because these
Yeah.
landscapes are this horrible habit of making things straight. You know, I had this fabulous undulating wall, and the next minute I looked, it was this hideous straight thing that
Yeah.
has to all be redone.
No, we would be setting it pretty much in the footprint
Right.
it is now, which is, straight on the right, your right.
Mhm.
And then on the left side, it's a pretty much smooth radius. It's
Nice.
And in wintertime, these disappear, like the others are taken out or they
the
stay.
docks get removed, but the wall remains.
So when the docks are removed, will there be a veneer as well where you, that's,
At the connection point, there would not.
so it'd
Um,
look pretty ugly, right?
It would be plain concrete
Concrete.
in that 8-inch by 5-foot section.
Then again, nobody will be on the water at that point.
Correct. Yeah, the balance of that would be veneered. The anchoring point for that galvanized bracket would not stay for, right, certainly.
Be flush.
You wouldn't want that.
Yeah, it's got to be a flat surface in order. Yeah.
So, and you know, reason.
Right now, they're mounted on wood and the wood is bolted into concrete slab. And that's what's been ripped off.
The color of the stone is sort of grayish, so, and the cement would be grayish, right? So it wouldn't,
Oh, right.
we wouldn't want it to stick out like a.
The mortar between the pieces, you mean, or?
No, there's gonna be.
Oh, the cement between, right,
Yeah,
right.
Cement.
It would be
8 foot
pretty,
cement.
it would be pretty close. The rock that's in front of the wall.
Mhm.
So you would have the wall, the water. There's shot rock similar to what's on the dam. And if you're by the boathouse, it's all in front of the boathouse. It's a
Right.
8-inch shot rock. That is the same that's along the front of the wall.
Sure.
And that blends itself into the existing, probably native stone at the time that it was done.
So just to double, so all of this is staying, right? You just didn't draw that again.
Correct. None of
Right.
this, yeah, and that's
So
why I
we just
simplified
don't
it for
need
here.
to draw it again.
No, nothing is happening,
Okay, got it.
to the main
Right, right.
and north side of
Got
the boathouse.
Just double check.
Yeah.
Right.
So because of this launch pad, that comes out a bit more.
It's the same, it is the
Same
same.
just the ramp,
I just,
right?
you know,
Oh, okay.
for the, okay, this is what it's going to be. The artificial turf is there. That's part of the ramp. I think I actually just moved that
Mhm.
bracket off of there. There is an unknown that once we do excavate the footing there, the electric, which no one knows where it is, that there's the charging stations for the boats. Praying we don't hit it.
Right, right.
There's a chance that, you know, John and I will probably have to talk that we would have to mend some lines.
And permits for doing work on the reservoir, that's all.
That's not us.
Taken care of.
No, I will mention this to the board Wednesday night to see if they feel comfortable with. It does involve, you know, work on the lake or very close to the lake, which is under the trustee's jurisdiction. And I will send an email out to the BZA to see if they want to get involved with any of this, since it is within 100 feet of the reservoir. I think I'd also recommend that we do when this project starts, that they do a stone wall sample of some type, so you can approve the stone. The stone that's there now, I don't know if that really is what you expect. The reds and the different colors, I don't know, that's your favorite. And I think we need more detail, at least on the how we're gonna de-water part of that area. If your engineer could give us more details on how that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know, 42 inches is pretty deep when you're that close to the water.
right.
And of course, we don't know when the lake level will be down, and even if it's down that low in the water, you're still probably gonna have.
Yeah.
Water down the floor.
So in this plan, mine happens to be a little blurry. I think I sent the electronic that probably cleared it up a little bit, but when the construction happens, we would use sand totes that would line the water side of it. Unfortunately, we've had a little bit of rain, so now the water level's coming back up again. You know, a few weeks back, it was 8 feet out and we would have been ideal. If we get fortunate or we can drop the lake a little bit, but it doesn't pull it that far back. So depending on where that is at, we would set those bags in place to protect the lake.
And all of these materials are exactly the same, just the wooden.
So these,
Changing it.
the wooding docks would be all exactly the same, just adding the fourth in, no extra boats, no extra square footage on that, just 4 access points to handle the same 8 boats. This one actually shows a 9th, which would allow for a temporary visitor space,
Right.
so to speak,
Right.
which we don't often have now. It usually gets congested, but it'd be nice to be able to everyone else on the lake to be able to come in and dock in, or, you know, a temporary repair. Different people will need to get a repair. Boom, you tow the boat there and wait for ex-mechanic to come or whatever, and that would help for that.
Yeah, so the purposes of this evening's meeting is to review the aesthetics in general. And if there's any comments, we can offer them.
Yeah, just, I think, yeah, just just my main concern is that juxtaposition of the cement and the stone, so that it's not these sort of the brown stones next to the greyish cement. So good for it. Right. The more grey stones.
Right.
So it's,
Yeah, it's a blend now. The existing rock that we hope to use a majority of is a blend of natural stuff that's, they had to have taken it from where we are, because it looks like everything in the woods. Actually, you can see here, you know, browns and grays and mixed in there.
right, yeah. Right.
There's probably, we could always take a piece of cedar and bolt that in, because that's flat and flush, and pull that with a longer lag right on through.
Liking that, yeah.
And certainly that's would create the same stability, right? Because you'd be anchoring into the poured concrete wall rather than a veneer situation, which would be a challenge.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
And that would be wood, it'd be wood on wood.
No, there's stone everywhere. It's just that bit where the docks latch onto the, there's gonna be an 8-foot cement thing. So instead of it being cement faced with cedar.
It's only
Oh,
5
that's
inches,
fantastic.
so the length of it would be cedar, would be.
Great.
Right,
look
so
pretty nice.
6 feet wide and 2 by 6, 2 by 8.
And you're talking about how many months when the dock is removed, right?
From November, mid-November, we pulled them the 10th of November till March 15th, 20th, weather permitting.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
think we have any more comments.
No, I think
Thank you
it's,
so much. Let's go.
John, just to clarify, do you need more than what's presented here in the sandbags to protect the lake, or?
I'll look at it more clearly and maybe I can have a conversation with the engineer. But let's at least bounce this off the trustees to see what thoughts they have this Wednesday.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Very good.
So much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Dan.
If I don't see you, have a great Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you. Holiday season.
Welcome.
I'm
Hello.
Arcadius. I'm from Limbreslin Architects. Thank you for volunteer
Just make sure
time.
that Desiree caught that. Desiree, did you hear that for the record?
Not very clearly.
My name's Arcadius. I'm from Limbreslin Architects for 80 Crow's Nest. I'm representing Dave Hare and Laura Foxgrover, who are joining us via Zoom. And hopefully they see us there.
Yeah, David, yeah.
Oh, large.
So our application tonight is mostly for the windows. I know some of you have visited the site. The windows are unfortunately failing. If you take a look through the photos, they never had any kind of waterproofing or flashing, and the sills were wood, and it's just, I don't know how it's lasted this long, because there's kind of a butt joint for the metal where water has gotten in, and the windows are starting to roll out of their frame, and there's a million cracks. So it's like, hopefully it lasts the winter season, but we need to replace them as soon as possible. So with that replacement, what we're trying to propose is with an ultra wall curtain system, it will be this color. And it will be like that, as thickness, the exact same sizes and divisions of glass that are currently there. Also, with this application, what we're hoping to do is eventually replace the roof and also the metal coping. And there's a large metal kind of trim board that's wrapped around the house that's painted brown. But through historical photographs, it was a light color. Unfortunately, we imagine it's white. It could be a beige, but we're hoping to restore it to its original color.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hard to tell the black and white, but
Yeah. But we think it definitely wasn't the brown that they've currently
Right.
made.
Right, yeah.
So
Dave and Laura showed us a couple of colors that looked really
really
good for
good.
the
I have
project.
They're out here. Dave, what were you thinking? Because I had selected the RAL 910, which was the kind of little bit off-white.
Well, I don't know the numbers. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Hello. The one that I thought was probably the closest to most of it, they change a little bit depending on how much, I guess, sun exposure they get, but would be clean room white.
Right. I think we have it.
Let me look it up quickly. I think it's 9012.
9012. Yes, that's right. It's a little bit of a
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a cream color.
it's a slight cream. The oyster one is like a little redder, but I think the clean room is better, or potentially a shade lighter, maybe signal
Maybe
white.
the one he wanted had less warmth to it, I think.
Probably the one that's shade up, the 916.
What's that
The
name?
traffic white, Dave?
I'm not sure. That may have been Laura's.
Or the
reference.
one
Let me see.
where you're.
Or right now,
What's that one?
the signal white.
Oh, I don't know. I
Signal
don't
white
know
is
the
quite
name.
It's bright.
and it does match in certain areas. The one that's closest to the door right now, which we would be keeping, I think, is clean room, which is 9012. Yes.
912.
So the windows and this area are supposed to be in the same white.
Same color. We would all match together.
Although I think what they were saying is they might use a slightly different one for this line, maybe a degree of value.
Maybe a slight contrast, but I would actually like to, and we haven't done this yet, just chip away and see if there's any evidence of maybe what it was. You know, short of having that, I think either it's a match or it has to be a noticeable difference, because you create like a dissonance of like a slight mismatch.
Sure, it has to look deliberate, right?
Right, it has to be deliberate. I mean, although right now everything is sort of close, but not quite the same. Yeah, you know, in terms of the fascia there, I hadn't thought about it as much as the windows, just because they're much, you know, more severe. So I'm actually not quite sure about the fascia.
Is the Historical Society, I tried to track it down the other day without success, but I'll pursue it. When the Hobart House by the same architect was demolished, unfortunately, the condition was at the time that they professionally photograph it. So apparently the Historical Society, there's all these professional photographs of it. So we'll try and track those down to see, because it may be, that may help as well with what color, if it has the same same thing. Have you seen those photographs or not? No.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've seen any color photographs dating back to. Was it redone at the time that it was demolished, or would that be somewhat representative of how it was built?
No, it's a completely different house that was built in its place. So
in its place,
yeah.
But when it was photographed before being demolished,
I think it was still very much intact when Jonathan owned it. He was a purist, so.
But
yeah, I'd love to see that, because I don't have a great answer. I mean, I know for the windows, you know, we have a lot of evidence of how it was, and it's more of a reconstruction than a reimagination. Not as sure for the roof.
But in general, I think, yeah, the lighter color, absolutely. I think we're all in agreement that it's, the subtlety of which one, it's not such an issue. But yeah, we agree.
Right.
You know, going to and matching the windows. A question is, with trying to visualize this with the new windows, what difference would there?
So there is a slight difference, and let me grab the drawings. The current windows have a bit of a double bevel, and then there's a protection.
And just about, it's so excited that you're putting this back to what it should be. I mean, and saving it. We're so grateful, because it really is.
Us too.
An important jewel in this, in Tuxedo Park.
So the current, it currently has a very slight bevel, if you can see through the section through the jamb and through the sill and through the head, there's a slight curve while this more very flat, more flat profile. So that probably seemed the only difference in terms of width. Actually, I took some photos. This
This is not double glazed. Also, it was single glazed before.
the width matches up pretty much.
Ah.
I almost clipped it in to hang it up. So this, for some reason, this window works perfectly in terms of the width and everything. So that is pretty much the only difference.
Okay. One thing, Dave, you and I talked about that resolution point on the
The butt joint at the corner of like the southwest.
Exactly. It
and
has
might
this,
exist in a, yeah.
and it has this gorgeously period, kind of, what's the term of art you'd use, Dave? That sort of strip of metal, that basically joins the two, it sort of frames them.
Right.
At the
Right.
Yeah. And so the question is, with modern windows, it could and would come right up.
Right.
But is there a way to kind of replace that detail?
That's easy enough to just add on. There is going to be a dark line just because of how the window gets put together. But if you want to add a metal piece of trim, it won't serve any function besides an aesthetic function, but that is possible.
But as a nod to the fact.
Yeah, we'd like that too, I think, yeah, to keep it out of the purely contemporary.
Right, the period that
feels
this
a little-
is, which is so, one forgets, seeing how modern this is, that it was a 1930s house. I mean,
Right.
100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
right, going on 100 years old.
It's as old as my mother.
And still as fresh looking as she is,
All right.
which is true, by the way.
That's right.
And for us, the next steps is to, if this window system is approved, is to demolish one of the windows to make sure that, and get all the installation details correct. Just because these come from Greece, so we have to make sure that our measurements are correct because we can't screw it up. So right now, we kind of understand a pretty good understanding of how the sill and jam conditions are, but until we remove it, we're not going to be able to detail it properly until then, so.
Are we ready to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the present window design being a replacement and a beautiful restoration of the building as it is. And the can you read out the, we're gonna read out into the record.
Lynn Breslin Architects, dated 21st of November 2024 for 80 Crow's Nest Road. Pages T001, T002, EM101, EM201, A101, A202, A303. That's it.
And
This is
the color-
this is just for the window replacement.
That's for the
window
windows.
replacement.
The color was part of this application?
Yes, the refinishing the metal trim board and also all the different metal coping around the roof was part of the application as well.
So for the resolution, how would you suggest?
Well, honestly,
The three-
Dave, the color you selected, which in here looked darker than what I remember it, I'm all the
Sure.
happier for, if the idea is that it's very possible that it will be the same color across, then I think that would be a very smart choice to hedge your bets in terms of brightness, because it actually here
Right.
it's reading a little darker, but if there's a possibility that will be what they wrote on the entire fascia, as you were calling it,
So I
then
think for the
I would
resolution-
specify.
For the resolution, we should perhaps ask you to come back with the color that you like, and I think we
Yeah.
can say that we are very much in favor of a white.
Yes.
for
yeah.
all
Yes,
areas.
yeah,
So
I can
And
do a
also-
you just let
sample
us
board.
know what it is.
That would be,
And
Right.
sample board would be great.
For you guys to come up and take a
Yeah.
look.
Let's not forget looking at it in artificial light and the dead of night
Yeah,
is not
it
the
can be a little
same.
deceptive.
Absolutely.
Also, the plane that you're looking at it in when you're holding it down, as opposed to vertical and on-site, it's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
completely different. And I think that's something that'll be very simple to do in sampling.
Okay.
Second.
Second,
All in favor?
Julie,
Thank you.
yes.
unanimous. Great, exciting.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a fun house.
It takes plenty to work on, right?
I hope so as we chip away, but
I finally found the Castellucci on.
Oh, yeah?
Furthest north, the very top.
Oh, wow.
Really finding it pleasure.
Glad you didn't fall out the window.
I don't know if Dave told you why there was a double skin facade. It was to keep the interior hot and muggy to prevent disease. And the double skin on the exterior, there was like a second air conditioning system. That was just to keep the condensation off the glass.
Wow.
You've seen the HVAC system?
No.
It's like an
Laura
airport.
showed us.
It's
Crazy.
It's fast.
Any changes to the roof or anything else we're gonna discuss, or was there?
Just a roof replacement with a glass roof. Right now, I think it's kind of a failing DPDM roof that's up there right now, but
Yeah.
And were you thinking of solar panels at any stage?
We would love to put solar panels up.
Hear about that, yeah. In favor.
If you have, regular vendors or people you work with who work in the park, I'd like to start interviewing them.
I forget
I think we
who,
can get you a couple names, David.
Okay, thanks.
There is a way of signing up for solar energy. Whereby you receive all of your energy from solar. Without actually having to-
I think we were opted into it.
So you
If
can
that's
opt
what
into the
we're
regular,
talking
but
about.
then you can also buy into the solar fee, or not buy
Yeah,
into.
so we're saving.
Do you have the link to give to them? I was mentioning that, but I didn't
can send
know.
that, I can make sure it goes on the website,
Because there's an additional voluntary move in addition to the,
which will save you a lot of money.
right.
Got it. Well, that sounds great.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Laura, thank you.
Thank you
Dave.
guys for doing this project. It's really
Cheers.
wonderful.
Oh, yeah, our pleasure.
Thank you,
True pleasure.
guys. So,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
good
thank you for
night.
coming in.
Are you going to Greece now?
yes.
Bye-bye.
So, are we ready to review, and has everyone had a chance to review the empty minutes from last time?
Yes.
Memorize
So-
them, actually.
So, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes
So moved.
for the last, what date was that? Desiree, what date was the
December 2nd.
December? So for December 2nd, we'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Unanimous.
So
Yay.
let's adjourn the meeting for today, being 6:35. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is the case of the right buyer for the right house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
No kidding.
small miracle.